What's going on, my fellow Kino Lords? So today I'm going to be reviewing a film called Bring Her Back, which is an A24 horror movie that's written and directed by Danny and Michael Phillipou. So this was a film that I was looking forward to because of the fact, well, just on the surface, A24 horror. From that alone, sign me up. But the fact that it's co-directed by the same people that co-directed Talk to Me, I was looking forward to it for that reason. I mean, I wasn't over the moon about Talk to Me, but there was plenty about that movie that I very much respected and enjoyed. And obviously, I went to an early screening for this because I got invited to a press screening, which has given me the opportunity to give you guys an early review for it. So that's really awesome. Shout out to Scotty for the invite. Um, so yeah, look, I'm not gonna jibber jabber any longer. I'm just gonna cut right to the chase and not sugarcoat it in the slightest. This film was not only the best horror movie that I've seen all year, but it is the best film that I've seen all year. I mean, I was absolutely blown away by this movie. And I mean, look, I expected to enjoy it. I expected to walk out of it saying like, "Hey, that was a good movie." That it was beyond that. Like this movie really exceeded my expectations and I just thought was phenomenal filmmaking. Like on pretty much every level, I was kind of blown away by this movie. Like in almost every aspect, it delivers. Like, and if you're going to watch, like, if you're just gonna go see this movie because of the horror element, it delivers there. Like it takes it takes its time with it, which is something that I really enjoy because it allows everything to build. It builds up a lot of the character context and the themes really well. It builds the atmosphere very well. So yeah, it like kind of makes you wait for a lot of the really extreme horror to happen, but holy shit, like once the horror elements start unfolding on screen, it is just relentless with it. I mean, there are two scenes in this movie. I mean, really there's more than two, but there's two that really stick out to me that were just insanely difficult to watch. And it's going to cause everybody watching it to react and squirm in their seats. I mean, I'll just say there's a scene, you know, with the child actor that's kind of like made to be like marketed to be the image of this movie. There's two scenes with him in it. One of them involving a knife that was just holy hell. That was one of the harder things I've had to sit through in a long time, but I loved every second of it. Um, and and then there's just also kind of like just kind of like a gross out body horror scene that happens later in the third act with him where I was like, holy shit, this is bloody, this is gory, this is intense. And again, if you're going for the horror shit, it's gonna deliver in that regard. But even beyond that, like like I found this to be surprisingly emotional and thematically layered. Um, I mean, ultimately, it's hard to describe what this movie is like in a sentence in terms of the concept and narrative. Um, but just in short, I'll just say that these two siblings get introduced to a new home, and there's something really odd going on with their new caretaker involving the loss of her child. That's all I'll say. And through this foundation, it really explores. I'll just say it's really difficult to talk about this film without spoiling, in my opinion. But I'll just say it does an excellent job at exploring how grief and loss in a loved one can completely change a person. I mean, the loss of a loved one has capabilities to completely shift someone's personality and really bring out the most diabolical elements of who they are that they did not know were there. And this movie demonstrates that in such a phenomenal way. Um, and shout out to Sally Hawkins in this movie. I mean, really, all the performances in this movie are really great. Everybody in this movie is fantastic. But Sally Hawkins, I think, is going to be the obvious standout here. And I haven't seen that many movies with her in it. I mean, the one that kind of stands out is the Shape of Water. But this movie, she really pushes boundaries, and she really gives this movie every ounce of her talent. And again, like, it's this movie is elevated not only because of its excellent direction and the writing, but it's elevated also because of her performance. And it is also a huge part as to why this film does work on a emotional level. Um, and I mean, just the ending of like the ending shot of this movie ends with an image of Sally Hawkins' character, and I just thought that was just such a haunting and beautiful way to end the movie. I mean, it's one of those things where you're just like in awe with just the creative choices done, not only within the script, but just within like the visual presentation of it. Really, really loved that. And and yeah, like this movie is, I don't know, it just offers so much. Like, this is a horror movie that, again, it offers the horror of it. So if you're going it for that, like going into it for that, you're gonna get that out of it. But it just, there's a lot of deeply emotional things about this movie, a lot of insightful things about this movie, a lot of meaningful things about this movie that I thought were really intertwined well with the horror elements. And one thing that I also really loved about this movie was the fact that this is a type of supernatural horror movie, right? And when it comes to that element of it, I feel like there was nothing about it that felt over explained. Like, there was never a moment in this movie where I felt like it was like desperately trying to get the audience to understand what was going on with its supernatural concepts. It does just enough for us to kind of infer what's going on within the metaphysical world. And that's something that I highly respected from it and really made me feel more immersed and more invested in what was going on. Um, yeah, this is a movie that, again, like, I enjoy Talk to Me. I know there's a lot of people out there who are deeply in love with Talk to Me and are calling that movie like one of the best horror films in like in the modern horror era. I'm sorry, but Bring Her Back is, to me, such a gigantic step up. This movie is, like, to me, mountains more impressive than Talk to Me. And this should be, like, discussed up there with, like, Hereditary and movies, even movies like The Witch. Like, I know that's kind of like a really bold statement, but that's kind of the way I felt about this movie in terms of the craft, in terms of the writing, in terms of the acting, in terms of just like the emotional impact it has on you, and it probably will have on most viewers. Like, it is really up there in terms of just how effective it is and how creative it is as a film. And again, like, thematically, like, it felt really layered. There's a lot here about grief, loss, depression. Um, you know, there's a whole like element of like diabolical gaslighting and how one's trust can easily be betrayed, especially among siblings. And um, I don't know, just very, very compelling stuff all around. Like, it's really hard for me to really even find anything that really bothered me about this movie. Like, from all fronts, it was very, very just impressive. Um, so I don't know. I think I'll shut up with that. I I think I've said enough about it for right now. This is a movie that I feel like I definitely want to analyze in the future. Maybe do a scene analysis or something for it. Um, but yeah, just know, like, when it comes to the horror stuff, like, it does get quite unsettling. There's a good handful of scenes that are just gonna be so fucking difficult to watch because of just how just just of how like visceral it is and just how like unforgiving it is with the body horror. Um, but overall, this movie works on just like every level. So, um, I don't think I can quite give it a 10 out of 10 right now. I think I'm going to be just a bit reserved and give it a solid 9 out of 10. But this movie is insanely impressive, and I can see upon rewatch just me saying fuck it and just giving it a 10 out of 10. Um, But yeah, right now I am over the moon about this film, and I highly implore everybody to check this movie out. Um, because it really deserves your attention. Like, I hope this movie gets more praise and more eyes than Talk to Me. And I'm not using this video as a way to shit talk to Me. I think that's also a really good movie. But this to movie is just like fuck. Like, it is just so good on so many levels. And I think a lot of people are gonna agree. I mean, hopefully they are on the same boat. But anyway, that's all I got to say about Bring Her Back. Really love this movie. Can't wait for more people to watch it and give their thoughts. And that's all I'll say about the movie. If you really enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.